and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. Welcome to another Business Buzz. Today is Tuesday, May 30th, and it's a pleasure to have each and everyone joining us this morning. Today, we have two segments. First, we'll be speaking with Code Cayman, and Mr. Jason Nehra, who is the Managing Director, is here in studio to tell us all about the company and services. After the 8 o'clock news, weather by CG Britke and traffic report, we'll be hearing from Josh Pearl and Jawara. But in the meantime, let's take it to Code Cayman. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Good to have you in the studio. Jason, Code Cayman sounds like you're in a secret mission.
Well, I hope it's not too secret. A big reason that I'm here today is to get the message out there, to let everybody know where we are and what we're doing and why we're important.
Okay, but first, tell us a little about yourself. Jason, the man.
Jason the man. My background is in education, a long-time science and physics teacher here on Island. And so the move to managing director here at Code Cayman has been an exciting new challenge for me. It's still at its heart an education-based thing. So not too far out of my comfort zone.
Very good, very good. Well, it's good to have you in the studio. Now, how did Code Cayman come about?
Code Cayman, it's a non-profit organization. It was founded by Brandon Karuna and Brian Tang, who run Cartan Group. And they started it really in an effort to generate enthusiasm for tech and to sort of help build a thriving tech community here in Cayman. I think the mission since then has got a little bit broader, but at its heart, that's what it is.
When did it start? What year?
2019.
2019. That was just before
Just
COVID-19.
before, yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the mission of, I know you're not a secret mission, but what is the mission of Code Cayman?
I think, if I can go back a little bit, really initiatives, like the one we started here, really are important because of what happened in 2011, where the government enacted the special economic zone, made it really attractive for companies from overseas to relocate. And then 2017, they strengthened the intellectual property laws, which made it really attractive for tech companies specifically. And now we've got CEC and we've got Tech Cayman offering concierge-style relocation assistance. And we're now seeing this sort of flood of tech companies coming to Cayman, and that's something that's only going to continue in the future. So alongside that, we're seeing, the appearance of lots of tech employment opportunities on Island. And,
That's right.
And I think, to get ahead of the tech revolution, we really need to start building the tech workforce. So I think a big part of the mission now is to help build that skilled tech workforce ready to pick up all these employment opportunities that are on the horizon.
So 2019 to date, how has it gone for Code Cayman?
I think it started out, offering tech courses to interesting, individuals who are in many cases hobbyists and things, and it's got broader and started with really just offering coding and then we looked at blockchain and Excel and we're hoping to expand into looking at cybersecurity and some AI type stuff as well. So we're always looking for new areas that we can explore and bring people in to learn about.
So where are you located, Jason?
We're at Grand Pavilion. We've got a tech lab. I got a little office for myself and a tech lab with room for 15 participants. A couple of big flat screens on the wall and ink-safe paint on all the walls so we can scribble code everywhere as we teach.
And your name is on the door?
My name is not on the door, but it's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind.
Now, what does Code Cayman do specifically, and the importance of it?
Well, I think one of our primary objectives really is to generate enthusiasm in youth. You know, we are targeting school-age kids with our coding camps. We're trying to provide a place where they can come, learn a few basic languages, write their first programs, and in many cases walk away with a Raspberry Pi computer so they can keep coding on the way out. But we'd like to start convincing youth and also parents that you know, there's a really good, exciting, and lucrative career path into tech. We don't necessarily need to funnel all of our graduates into law and accountancy.
That's right.
You know, tech's, I think, ultimately going to become a real third pillar of industry here.
And those classes are free?
They are absolutely free,
Absolutely
entirely funded by our generous sponsors and our volunteer mentors who give up their time.
Who are some of your sponsors?
This year we've got Tech Cayman and KPMG. Walkers have come on as general sponsors. And DART have come out and helped sponsor one of our summer camps for the summer. And I've got a couple other key sponsorship partnerships which will be announced in the coming days, I hope, to cover the remaining weeks of the summer.
You don't want to break it here?
Not yet. So yeah, keep tuned. We'll have a bit of a social media blitz soon when we're ready to announce the summer camps.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll forgive you. Now, so speaking of summer camps, let's talk about that. When are you starting summer camps? What's the criteria for getting the camps? How does it work?
Well, we're going to start off right away. The first couple of weeks in July, we're going to run a camp for probably the older students, looking at maybe 14 to 17. And what we want to do with this one, it's a 2-week camp, is really do some coding in the mornings, and then in the afternoons try to bring in different people from different sections of the tech industry to talk to them. So one morning we'll get some cybersecurity expert in to talk to them about what they do and why they love it, and the next day a bit of blockchain, you know, followed by a programmer, so that by the end of the 2 weeks they've really had a taste of what different opportunities are out there. So they don't just come away with a bit of coding knowledge, they've also maybe got a bit of vision as to what they're interested in and where they might want to go.
Okay. Now, coding, Jason, I have to be honest. Like I said before that we started this discussion, I know nothing about coding. Just for the listeners out there who are like myself and know absolutely nothing about coding, can you just give us in a nutshell, you know, what coding is all about?
Well, I mean, coding is a language, really. It's about really learning a whole extra language that allows you to, I guess, pass instructions to a computer so that they can carry out what you want to happen. So it is, you know, it's difficult at first to learn all the commands, but it's very logical. And as you move through a language, you know, we'll start with basic languages, and then when you're ready, you simply can progress to some of the other ones and get more. So
eventually, at some point, I can build my own program.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to see you in the next coding class. It's not an elitist movement here. You know, coding is for everyone, and it's something where, you know, as a teacher, I've met a lot of my former students, and I've heard time and time again from them, oh, I wish I'd learned to code. I'm learning now, you know, for my job, and I wish I'd learned a lot earlier. So, you know, it really is something that we're really trying to encourage youth to get into now. Very good.
Jason, we've got to take a quick break. Thanks to our sponsor this morning on the Business Buzz, Cayman Insurance Center. I'm saying good morning to Miss Susan. She's on the other side. She's the producer of the Buzz, and she keeps me on my toes.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
James Alexander Bernard, JP. James Bernard was affectionately known as Mr. Mercy to his family and friends. Some people called him Papa Jim. He was married to the formula Mary M. Dixon and had one son, James L. Bernard. Like most Caymanian men of his era, he went to sea as a young man. He eventually became an accomplished cook. He also worked in the gold mines of Nicaragua. After retiring from sea, he formed and is best remembered for being a butcher. He was a justice of the peace and a vestryman.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for doing so. In the studio this morning, we have from Code Cayman, Mr. Jason Nehra. He is the managing director, and we're looking at programming, summer camp, just about everything we possibly can squeeze into this short segment. Now, Jason, we talk about the youth. How about adults? How does that work for the adults?
Well, the adult courses happen in the evening.
Okay. What time?
Well, it changes, but at the moment we're running woman.code, and that's from 6 till 7:30 in the evening. Woman.code. So it's a program obviously entirely for women to learn some coding.
Okay. And how are they enjoying it?
So far, I think they are. We're one session in. The next session is on Wednesday.
Okay. So is it one day per week?
1 day per week. Yeah, for 6 weeks. Now, not all the courses are 6 weeks long, but
1 day per week.
It is. I mean, we put out a bit of a media blitz to announce the course, and it filled up in under 24 hours.
So how many women showed up?
We've got room for 15 at the Tech Lab. At Grand Pavilion. So I couldn't take the registration link down fast enough. So there's a real appetite for it locally, which is wonderful.
That's right. No, Jason, you're very passionate when you talk about a lab. Let's talk a little bit more about your lab. What's in the future for that lab?
I mean, we've got a great space at Grand Pavilion. There's room for 15. We've got this wonderful paint on the walls that allows us to scribble code all over it.
So you actually scribble on the wall?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
It's like a chalk wall?
No, it's just got a paint on it that allows you to use erasable pen.
Okay.
So I love the space, and I hope to continue there if we can. As a nonprofit, obviously the lease on the lab is a big expense for us. But I'm hopeful that we might find a sponsor out there who'd like to sponsor the lab at some point. Okay. I pitched it to Radio Cayman this morning to see if they wanted to rename it the Radio Cayman Tech Lab. But
Yeah, I know.
We'll see.
Yeah, Susan, thank you. We won't be able to give you any cash, but we can do PSAs. We can do a trade where Susan and I can come and learn, so we can come back to the studio and teach, the rest of the folks how to code.
Perfect.
But I don't know, Susan, are you up for this? No, no. You see, she's passing it back. Okay. Now, what are some most in demand programming languages that you have, or we're seeing?
Certainly, JavaScript and Python are probably the languages that are used the most, and are probably the best place to start. And that's what we do. We sort of ease people in with a bit of HTML and CSS for web pages, and then learn some JavaScript, and when they're ready, a bit of Python. I mean, there's so many languages out there now, and I've started to get emails from people asking for C and C# and things, so perhaps that's one for the future as well.
How expensive it is to obtain, say, JavaScript? Is that something, is like a free download? How does that work? Help me out here, Jason.
Absolutely free. I mean, the best thing to do as a beginner coder is to download an editor that'll help you as you go along. Something like VS Code, where it gives you little prompts to say, how about this next, or highlights things in red when you've made a mistake, and it really helps you out. And this is a download that you can get for free, and just get started.
Okay. For those aspiring coders who wish to enter the software development field, what advice would you offer them?
Start young.
Start young.
Start young as soon as you can.
While your brain can still take that in, right? Okay.
Learn to accept failure, obviously, and learn to see failure as an opportunity to problem solve and try some new things, because code rarely works that first time. You write it, you run it, you fail, you debug it, you write it again.
So if you have coders, say, who've gone through your programs, do you help them to find, if they're looking for, say, a startup position somewhere in a tech company, do you normally help them to
It's certainly something
that
we're looking at now. We really want to generate enthusiasm, obviously, in youth to follow a tech career. But we'd like to start putting a network in place to make sure that, once they've decided this is a path they want to pursue, to really help them transition to the next step, and give them some advice, some mentorship, and maybe even in the future some scholarships, nice. to help them all the way till they sit down at the desk in their first day at work. So building that network, is not something that we can do all on our own, but it's certainly part of the plan.
Okay. Does Code Cayman help with startup companies?
We certainly hope so.
On the tech side.
In the future, I think that's the future for us. Certainly who we want to become is as that tech community grows and thrives, we're going to see startups appear here, and we'd like to become a location where people can come and collaborate and problem solve and work on their startup together. And then we'd also like to be at the heart of the support network that fosters that and links them to organizations that can help them, and maybe ultimately bring in some VCs and accelerators that can help finance them. So we'd really like to be, at the heart of that support network for startups.
Now, artificial intelligence, AI, that's a talk of the day. Now, what are some trends that you're seeing in AI, and the impact, of course, that it could have on tech and even the job landscape?
Wow, the job landscape. I read the other day from the World Economic Forum that they'd said that they believe that AI was going to replace 85 million jobs worldwide, but at the same time create 97 million new jobs. And so that's very exciting and sort of scary at the same time, I think.
It is.
What they're really saying is that it's not that there's going to be less jobs available, but there's going to be a lot of very different jobs. And I think a lot of those, of course, are going to fall within the tech industry. So it really reinforces, what we're doing here is starting to prepare a youth workforce to absorb the jobs of the future.
So proud of you. So proud of Code Cayman.
Thank you.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we're proud of our sponsor, Cayman Insurance Center. We want to say thank you for coming on board the Business Buzz. We're going to take that quick break soon.
We give you honor and praise.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come on, let's praise the Lord. Come on, let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in your hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in your hand.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
105.3 Breeze FM live. Now it's Anita Man Bushman representing for 105.3 Breeze FM.
Hey, this is DJ Lynn. Join me Sundays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 for Beach and Reggae Sundays. Whether you're out in a boat, in the backyard, or simply on the beach catching some sun, it's the perfect way to unwind for the weekend as the sun sets on our beautiful Caribbean Sea. Join us this Sunday from 2 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 Beach and Reggae Sundays. Brought to you by Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Mr. Jason Nehra is in the house. He's the managing director at Code Cayman. Jason, at the end of a session, a coding session or whatever you call it. Is that what you call it? Coding session?
Sure. Yeah. A course.
Course, yeah. Okay. Do you get a participation certificate? What do you get?
Absolutely. Everybody gets a certificate to let them know that they've managed through the course.
Okay.
And then we have sort of alumni socials afterwards where we bring back participants so they can network again. And I think going forward, I'm hoping that to engage with employment agencies as well and have them join us at the networking social. So
it's a good idea.
People can see what's out there.
Okay. Now, what's happening next at Code Cayman, and what's the long-term goal of Code Cayman?
We're definitely trying to broaden what we offer, and also get a stronger relationship with the schools. So I've been talking to the folks at CIS about perhaps running some after-school programs for the kids there. We're kind of excited about the possibility of doing a sort of island-wide coding challenge, maybe inter-school challenge, probably next year, and exploring the idea of a hackathon.
Hackathon.
And bringing one of those on island as well. So starting to do a lot more to engage the youth.
I see the teachers coming out in you.
Yes, I suppose that's my comfort zone.
Now let's get some contact details. You're located at the Grand Pavilion. What's your telephone number, Jason?
My telephone number is 924-4604. You can reach me at jason@codecayman.com.
Okay.
And follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Okay.
And you can subscribe to the list on the webpage as well. So if you're keen to follow.
Okay. Is there anything I missed this morning, Jason?
I think we've done a pretty comprehensive job of looking through.
Let's recap on the camps that you have coming up, July 14th through 17th. Is that correct?
Well, we've got a camp for the older students for the first 2 weeks, and then we're going to run 2 others for the younger ones, probably age 10 to 14. All the camps, they will take away a Raspberry Pi computer with them.
Wow,
and
nice.
feed them some healthy snacks to keep them going during the day. And a reminder to all parents, the other courses are entirely free and supported by our sponsors.
So you do go into schools and do presentations?
I haven't yet, but I'm very open to the idea. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, Code Cayman, you started in 2019, a non-profit, and we know you have sponsors, and you're looking for that sponsor for the lab. Sorry, it can't be Radio Cayman, on the front, on the wall.
That's
you don't know
all
that, Susan? Oh, Susan's very confident we can work it. Okay, we'll save that for later. No, let's talk about those young folks who are everybody's into tech, the young ones, but to get them to actually do the work, if you know what I mean, they prefer to be on TikTok and looking at sometimes garbage, but how do you inspire them or motivate them to actually go into coding? How can we do that, Jason? You're a teacher.
Obviously, you've got to make it interesting to them and relevant to them. And one of the things that we've offered blockchain courses for adults, and I really want to design one for students as well, but just come at it from a different angle, rather than looking at finance and smart contracts, which isn't super exciting when you're young. Sort of look at the gamification side. There are whole games now on the blockchain, like blockchain brawlers that you can play, and sort of just coming up from an angle that they can connect to. The tech is the same. What you need to learn in order to use blockchain is the same idea. You just come at it from an angle that can generate some enthusiasm and that feels relevant to them. So that comes from designing courses cleverly.
All right. So, Jason, what would you like to leave with our listeners this morning?
I'm always on the hunt for not just sponsors but also mentors. So if if you've got tech skills and you're keen to share them, please reach out to me. I'm happy to meet with you and let you know what we do and see if it's a good fit for you to come on out and be part of the program.
Do you normally get some of those students who've gone through some of the courses to come back and do mentoring?
That's a great question. Actually, I had a young fella approach me not long ago who'd done his first coding course with Code Cayman. He's now doing his associate degree at UCCI in computer sciences, and I'm hoping he's going to come back in the summer and help us with our summer camps. So that came full circle for us, which is it's a really wonderful thing to have happen.
Very good. Now, the women who are taking, what's it called again?
Women.code.
Women.code. Is this the first time you're offering that course?
No, this has been a real mainstay for us. Okay. It's been super popular. Part of the mission really was to sort of help with gender equality in tech. It's probably got a long way to go.
Appreciate that.
So the Women.code courses have in part been sprung up as a result of that and been really popular.
Okay. What sort of feedback do you get from the women?
So far, so good. We will see. I mean, I think we've had the one course last week, which was really just an intro, but this Wednesday we're going to really get down into some coding. So I'm hoping they'll stay at it.
Do you normally have women or even the young people who drop out after, say, 2 weeks?
No. And the reason for that is although the courses are entirely free, we ask everybody for a $200 deposit to say you're serious about doing the course. What we didn't want was people to take up a seat and then leave. And then, of course, somebody else could have been there. So the deposits all get returned at the end of the course, provided you attend 80% of them. Of course, 100% attendance is difficult for everybody. We all have complicated lives, but we thought we could 80% is probably a bit good.
Well, Jason, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio this morning. Thank you so much for telling us so much about Code Cayman, and we'd like our listeners to come out and enjoy some of those courses, and hopefully you'll get somebody to sponsor that lab. Next time you come back in the studio, you'll be jumping up and down, all excited about having that covered. In the meantime, have a wonderful time and good luck with all the courses that you have coming up.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. And Sue, thanks to our sponsor, Cayman Insurance Center. Susan's got a time check, the news, a whole bunch of stuff going on, CG, Brithkay weather, traffic by subway, and then we'll come back with our second segment on the Business Buzz.
Thank you, Anita. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
So it's your turn to cook tonight. What are we having?
Well, we have chicken thighs, pork chops, sirloin steak, ground chicken, or beef stir fry.
Wow, so many options.
Yeah, I got them from the Foster's Pick 5 selection. You can choose any 5 specially marked packs for $19.99. The meat is always fresh and never previously frozen. It's the perfect way to stock up for the week.
So all of this only costs $19.99?
It sure did.
Pick 5 is available at all locations and selection may vary between stores. Foster's, better value because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. It's a good rating for local preschool Sprague's. The team at the Office of Education Standards recently toured Sprague's Garden Play School, judging the overall performance as good for the second inspection in a row. Recent changes saw the appointment of a new head and deputy head to support future expansion plans. Senior leaders demonstrated a, quote, good capacity to lead further improvements. According to the OES report, Sprague's Play School curriculum is aligned with the Cayman Islands Early Years Curriculum Framework and reflects the 4 domains: exploration, respect, communication, and well-being. Although the overall domain judgments remain the same, the report says elements within had continued to improve. Teaching remained of a, quote, good quality, although a greater challenge could be afforded to the more able students. Children's attitude and engagement with learning was excellent, and assessment was judged satisfactory. Curriculum was judged good, but similarly, there was a need to, quote, standardize arrangements for planning and delivery. Health and safety were satisfactory, as not all staff had completed the mandatory safeguarding training. However, the site was, quote, secure and provided a caring and nurturing environment. Sprague's leadership remained good. Self-evaluation had improved with documentation more accurate, and links with parents and the community remained, quote, a strong feature of the center, but could benefit further from closer involvement regarding the improvement plans at the center. Staff continued to demonstrate a capacity to improve and show pride in their work. You can find the full report online at oes.gov.ky. Cayman's new governor, Her Excellency Jane Owen, is continuing her rounds of initial calls on government departments. On Monday, she visited Customs and Border Control. Following a presentation from the senior management team of their strategic plan, she toured the airport to see CBC staff in action at arrivals, baggage claim, and the customs offices where the collection of import duties takes place. She also visited the cargo scanning area where she saw a demonstration of the new cargo scanner, a piece of equipment that helps halt the flow of drugs and other illegal contraband into Cayman. And the Ministry of Health and Wellness boosts support for the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association with a grant on behalf of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. More from Shanda Gallego.
The one-time $50,000 grant is separate and apart from the organization's request for ongoing and consistent funding, which, according to Health and Wellness Minister, the Honorable Sabrina Turner, is currently being reviewed as part of the 2024 to 2025 budget cycle. However, the Honorable Minister says the hope is that these funds will provide more stability and help to enhance the organization's internal capacity as they deliver numerous services to individuals, families, and the community. There is a growing focus on dementia globally as the burden of care relating to treatment and management is making its way to the forefront of competing priorities worldwide. The World Health Organization's WHO Global Plan on Dementia has called for governments to develop national plans and policies on dementia by the year 2025. While the Ministry of Health and Wellness works to better understand the true picture of dementia in the Cayman Islands and works behind the scenes by reviewing extensive research on prevention and better management of dementia, the grant to the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association Cayman Islands will, quote, assist the organization in helping to support operational costs which include providing care packages to individuals in need of assistance, offering coverage for medication when such is needed due to extraordinary circumstances, and addressing other immediate needs that presents itself. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
In international news, Malaysia has detained a Chinese registered vessel suspected of looting 2 British World War II shipwrecks. The bulk carrier was seized on Sunday for anchoring illegally at the site in the South China Sea. Ammunition believed to be from the HMS Prince of Wales and the HMS Repulse, which were sunk by Japanese forces more than 80 years ago, was then found on board. The UK Ministry of Defence had earlier condemned the alleged raid as a, quote, desecration of maritime war graves. Old shipwrecks are targeted by scavengers for their rare low-background steel, also known as pre-war steel. The low radiation in the steel makes it a rare and valuable resource for use in medical and scientific equipment. And NATO has condemned a, quote, totally unacceptable attack by demonstrators in Kosovo that left at least 30 of its peacekeepers injured. Police and NATO troops clashed with Serb protesters in the north, where there had been unrest over the installation of ethnic Albanian mayors. Tear gas and stun grenades were used to deter protesters after they tried to invade a government building. NATO soldiers also formed a security cordon around 2 other town halls. The crisis dates back to April when Kosovo Serbs boycotted local elections, allowing ethnic Albanians to take control of local councils with a turnout of less than 4%. That's your latest news. I'm Karsley Fuller.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt@valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store, or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 80%. The barometric pressure, 29.9, 3 inches and rising. The wind is out of the southeast at 3 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopses indicate cloudiness and scattered showers are expected to continue for the next 24 hours in association with a surface trough over the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area, drifting towards the northwest. The forecast for today calling for cloudy skies with a chance of showers and some thunder, and showers will be locally heavy at times, and temperatures today will be in the upper 80s. Winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and some thunder, and showers locally heavy at times, and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be southeast at 5 knots or less, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet for tonight as well. Low tide will be this afternoon at 12:37, and a high tide again tonight at 7:26. The sun will set this evening at 6:58 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:47. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning as the surface trough lingers over the northwest Caribbean.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by On Course Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. There's no great success without commitment.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, individuals who succeed have a belief in the power of commitment. If there's a single belief that seems almost inseparable from success, it's that there's no great success without commitment. If you look at successful people in any field, you'll find they're not necessarily the best and the brightest, the fastest and the strongest. You'll find they're the ones with the most commitment.
Change your thinking, change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by On Course Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. On Course Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Traffic is bumper to bumper on the Linford-Pearson Highway. Slight delays expected as you make your way to Georgetown. Slow-moving traffic on Walker's Road heading to Georgetown. On Cool Road, traffic is bumper to bumper heading to Georgetown as well. And eastbound traffic on Cool Road is moving along lightly. And coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic as well as off of the Linford-Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Turning our eyes to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, flowing moderately. And on the West Bay Road, traffic is moderate in both directions, especially in front of the Ritz. And steady traffic on Elgin Avenue and Huldah Avenue. As you make your way to your final destination, you're going to get there. Edward Street, downtown Georgetown, looking pretty good. And out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, traffic is light to moderate. And traffic is flowing pretty good on Owen Roberts Drive. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report, and cameras are up now for the Esteli Tibbetts Highway, and traffic is steady coming off of there and continuing on to North Sound Road. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12, another traffic report.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. It's 15 minutes after 8 o'clock. This is our second and final segment for this gorgeous Tuesday morning. It's a bit rainy on the outside. In the studio, we have a full house. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have Patrice Beersingh. Patrice is the founder of brand Caribe. We're going to have Patrice introduce the rest of the gang in the studio. Patrice, good morning.
Good morning. I've always wanted to be a co-host, Miss Anita.
A co-host?
Yeah.
Hey, you're in this morning.
Yeah.
Just pull your seat a little bit closer, and we can do this, girl.
Good morning.
We can do this.
How are you doing, Miss Anita?
I am fine. How are you?
You're looking good.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But you too.
Thanks.
I love your outfit.
I just woke up.
You just woke up.
Working really hard.
All right. Well, somebody's working,
anyway.
right? So we've got a full house. Introduce who's sitting next to you.
Well,
I'm going to take it down the line.
I'm here representing Borden Town.
I'm representing Newlands.
District, first of all. Newlands is in Borden Town. You guys need to just understand.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Don't let me start.
Just keep it separate.
Yeah, but Newlands is Borden Town.
Technically.
Rep
your section.
Borden Town.
Yes.
Southside.
Anyway.
Southside. I had a feeling that's where that came from.
Patrice Beersingh. Proud. I am here in the capacity of a founder of a new non-profit called Brand Caribe. It's an innovation lab. And what's innovation? Basically, new ideas, implementing new methods to add value. It could be a new service, a new product, a new program. And this is specifically for creators from the Caribbean. And obviously, this is my backyard, so we're starting in Cayman. So this is the first public product that I'll be presenting in the form of an event and creative collaboration.
And this is where you're debuting all of this morning on the Buzz?
Let's say yes.
All right.
Technically,
right.
no, but let's say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go with that.
Buzz first.
We love it, right, Sue?
And so, to the left of me, I have a Borden Towner.
Southside.
Borden Towner. By the name of Josh Pearl of House Hides. I love to call him a multidisciplinary artist because that's what he is. Musician, filmmaker, designer, entrepreneur, creator. I have worked with him for how long?
Maybe 10 years now.
10 years.
About that.
Yeah. One of our best in terms of excellence, in terms of striving for more, striving for better, breaking chains, overcoming challenges, breaking down stereotypes, and doing things that are out of the box. You know, everybody's pathway is important, but being a creative, particularly in Cayman, particularly in the Caribbean, and doing it at a professional capacity is something that should be heralded. And he does this for the past 10 years. This is all he does, and he does it at a high level. So Josh Pearl will be hosting an event for Cayman Art Week called On Our Block, and he is collaborating with one of our best, Jawara Alleyne, National Arts and Culture Awardee, fashion designer extraordinary. He has designed for the likes of Beyonce, Rihanna, Vogue, ID, Harper's Bazaar. The list goes on and on and on. He is a Cayman government scholar. He is a master's degree holder. He is a lecturer at Acclaimed Central St. Martin's in London, and he is back for about 10 years now, right, Jawara?
Yeah,
I've always worked with him for, how long have I worked with you?
Maybe 15, 20.
15, 20. And they will be showcasing what young Caymanians have to offer through self-expression, through fashion design, and through artistry. And so that's what Honor Block is. It's going down on Thursday and Friday as part of Cayman Art Week, and I'm going to let them speak about it because that's why we're here.
Oh, so I was going to take the mic back from you because I'm like, she's a co-host this morning.
I said co-host. I let you know.
Well, we also have someone else in the studio with you. I mean, just a quick intro.
Well, go ahead, Kadeem.
Not introduce Kadeem. You gonna give
Kadeem is a speaker, you know. Is an orator.
All right.
I have a fellow communicator. He is a lifestyle journalist, but in this capacity as stylist from Jamaica. He's done amazing things. He just flew here like after red-eyeing a big shoot with a big designer. He came here to support us. So Kadeem, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Kadeem Rogers from Jamaica.
Come closer to the mic.
Hi, Kadeem Rogers from Kingston, Jamaica. Yeah, and I'm a stylist, journalist.
That's it. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure having everybody in the studio this morning. You know, I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness. And I want to say, I just love this. I love it. I love all the creativity. I'm going to leave here and make something. Not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to make something.
We're all creators.
We're all creators, right? Jawara, I'm looking at your shirt. Can you stand up? Susan, can you get a photo? Can you get a... it's distracting because I'm trying to figure what it's all about.
What's going on?
What's going on? Susan, you got a shot of that? No, for the listeners who are not watching, if you're driving on the road, Jawara, tell us about that creation that you're wearing. What you have on?
So what I'm wearing is basically one of my signature processes, I guess. Essentially, a big part of my process is reworking, upcycling, reclaiming. Actually, which I was inspired by an exhibition that I did here a couple of years ago with the National Gallery. Where I was looking at art in the islands, in the Cayman Islands, and really looking at the theories that we sort of explore. And one of those things where we like to take things that have lost a sense of value and give them new sense of value. So a really important part of my process is taking old t-shirts, old stuff that's been discarded, and sort of using the element of design and sort of reworking, and there's like some punk elements in there as well, to kind of create something that visually tells a new story. So I'm working a lot on these t-shirts, which I cut up and then rework, pin together. Each one is kind of like an art piece in and of itself because they're all quite different.
I tell you, I love that one that you have on. It's look at it. If I went down the street and that, people would start a GoFundMe GoFundMe account. Okay, but Jawara, he's wearing that with style, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
So you have more pieces like this?
Yes, yeah. I have a lot more pieces like this. But also, I think one of the elements I think that really is eye-catching about it is that they're all quite simple pieces. So there's something about it that's immediately approachable because it's just a t-shirt. Right. But the way that it's done kind of communicates something a lot more. Because a lot of times what you have with experimental fashion is that the cuts are so far-reaching that it's like, I like that, but I would never wear it. But there's something about these t-shirts, because they're just the most basic item that we all have, that's immediately just ask you to really question what you actually think about it.
So what's the story behind this one?
The story behind this one? Well, it had sort of like a graphic inside, which I was just not happy with. And then I had some extra fabric. And to be honest, a lot of them are quite intuitively done. There's not, after having sort of like figured out the process, once I get the elements, it's like making a painting. So you just, once it feels right, then it's like, okay, cool, that's done.
I like the way how you dress it up with a what do you call that? With pieces out.
I guess it's kind of like a gilet or like a vest.
Vest.
Yes.
Yeah, we call it a vest.
Yeah, we call it a vest.
Yeah, nice. Now, all right, so Cayman Art Week. Okay, Josh is looking at you like that. Give this woman some water. She's fine. She's doing all right. So Josh, let's put a focus on you for a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're a singer. You're just about everything. Cayman Art Week, coming up.
Yeah.
In what does it start tomorrow? What's tomorrow?
Today, right?
Today.
Yeah,
Today.
technically Cayman Art Week starts
Right.
today. Yeah.
So you and Jawara, you're involved in this.
Mhm.
So what's going on? Put it that way.
All right, so Brand Caribe approached me and Jawara in this idea of bringing us both together to present an art show in the Cayman Islands in our way, in our fashion. So it's not just one dimension of just we have a drawing on the wall. We literally have canvases of his studio immersed inside of a paint booth. Should we even give them type of details? Or?
Yeah.
So we literally
Do you.
we're using our foundation of what we were to have and making something out of it. So when you approach our venue, it will be in a non-traditional way, and it's something new. So when you come in, you'll see skateboard ramps. So we'll have skaters out there because that's part of my culture. As of Mutiny, we come from the skateboard background. As myself. And so you'll see that. You'll see, like I said, you'll see his. You'll get a dive into his world with the setup that we have for Jawara. You'll understand his processes, where he creates, how he creates. You'll get an insight of that. But yeah, we're involved in it to just give you guys a showcase of what's dope in Cayman and something you never seen before. So that's our part in the Cayman Art Week.
Patrice, and you're bringing it in, right?
Yeah, but I want him to speak more about streetwear. So
Okay.
something that is foundational to this exhibition is the concept of streetwear. And he is ambassador of streetwear, Josh Pearl. And so Mutiny is a store, a little gem that many persons don't know about, but they have like a cult following here. And so he owns this store. And it's in an industrial compound. It's on 84 Archive Lane. Very epic address, if you ask me. And so we're going to activate that area to really feel and be seen as an immersive experience, as opposed to just something that you see. So once you enter the compound, you'll feel streetwear, you'll see streetwear, you can wear streetwear, and you'll understand where streetwear comes from. And so I just want you to talk more about what Mutiny does, why you started it, and why you're hosting something like this.
All right. Yeah. So Mutiny is a new streetwear brand introduced to the island, to not just that it's not just our brand that we make clothes for and speak through, but carrying other brands that we feel align with what we believe the streetwear culture is worldwide, and we want the Cayman culture to really understand and grow with that, because we feel like we never had that type of culture on the island before, or at least it's been here, just not to the level of where people could access it and feel it and live it, So that's what Mutiny really is, and
so older people like myself, what exactly is streetwear? I'm listening to you. I'm thinking, is it older clothes I want to wear on the street? What exactly is streetwear?
Streetwear, you have a definition.
He's a professor.
He's a professor.
He's a
professor. So we're going Webster. Okay, let's go Webster then.
So I guess streetwear, I think that the definition changes over time, but essentially streetwear is clothes that are easily accessible, easily approachable, and you just wear it essentially in the streets. It's what kids would just wear on the weekends. It's what actually people would wear on the weekends. It's clothes that are the most accessible. So t-shirts and jeans essentially are always categorized in that category because they're just the most accessible garments that we have.
Streetwear.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of streetwear at home.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. So
and my favorite streetwear is that when I leave here and I go home, I have a big t-shirt, Lots of holes in it.
Yep.
That's my streetwear.
Yep.
That's not
So-
streetwear, that bedwear. You can't wear that on the street.
Designer bedwear.
You can't.
That's my
so
version.
basically, what you would
That's my
wear
version
in
of
the
streetwear,
street,
okay?
what you would wear in the street, what you would wear outside of the house, and that has elevated into a whole fashion category because,
Very
as you
nice.
know, the sneaker as a clothing item has added serious value in the fashion world. You have $700 sneakers now, and so there's a whole movement behind streetwear. Obviously, with the brands such as Nike, Adidas, and then you have higher end brands like Off-White. So he is introducing that elevated state of streetwear to Cayman. So obviously you can get t-shirts anywhere, but these are premium streetwear items. So the quality of his items are different from what you would get from, say, a t-shirt shop. And the sneakers are different from where you would get in a simple shop. And nothing's wrong with that clothes, right? Nothing's wrong with any type of item, but this is elevated experience.
Yeah, essentially, it's the attention to detail
Yes.
into making these products that are so accessible. You know, there's a lot of attention to the fabrics that you use, to the processes that you're using, the printing, etc., to make sure that actually they actually have a sense of quality to them.
And sustainable.
And sustainable, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at your T-shirt, Josh. I like it. Spread it out all the way there. That's
his cap,
People
too.
assume this is
his
this
cap,
is my
too.
yeah,
You
but
sell those, too.
Okay.
this gallery department. Yeah,
Gallery
people
department,
assume this is
okay.
like from the gallery national.
Oh,
the,
for
real?
yeah,
Gallery
a lot of
department?
people say, "Oh, you work there now?"
Oh.
Oh.
But, yeah, nah, a guy named Josue Thomas started this in LA. It's a very popular brand right now. The t-shirts sell for over $200 in America right now, and we sell them at our store, but very exclusively. But yeah, this is my high.
I have to get a piece of Mutiny.
Yeah, come by the store.
Yeah,
Come
I
take
didn't
a
know all
walk,
of this
see.
before. Well,
No,
thanks for bringing
I would
it
love
to
for you to
life.
just come in and just experience it. So walking into the store is not just a retail store. You have an experience walking in. So it's not just t-shirts on cluttered all over the place. You have art on the walls. You have I want to say we have the $40 bill from that from Cayman. That's they stopped printing in 1972.
Really?
So things that you could see and have conversations about within the store, not just coming to buy clothes. So just to come by, even if you don't buy nothing, just come and see
take a
how
look.
it looks. Like for anyone to do that, you know, it's a real experience, and that's why it's very important for us to be doing it.
We've got to take a break.
That's fine.
But Josh, Mutiny.
Yeah.
When we come back, I want to know why you chose that name, Mutiny.
Gotcha.
Thanks to our sponsor this morning, Cayman Insurance Center.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
The Department of Agriculture would like to inform the public that animal-related import-export services contact hours have changed. For all animal-related travel inquiries, permit application process, and in-person visitations, visit doa.gov.ky or their Facebook or Instagram page at Agriculture Cayman to view the new hours. Call 947-3090 for more information.
Anita Khan.
Back to the business buzz. Oh, we're chatting so much from Mr. Q there. Thank you. Sorry, Susan. In the studio this morning, we have Jawara Alleyne, Josh Pearl, Patrice Beersingh, and Kadeem Rogers, who is very quiet. He's on the quiet side because he's just watching the proceedings this morning. So before that break, Josh, we said I'm gonna ask you about how you came up with the name Mutiny.
Yes. So mutiny derives from So Mutiny derives from just the thought of, we felt like I said, we felt the culture was missing streetwear to a degree, and the culture of streetwear never really it existed, but the regime of it was very small, so we wanted to overthrow whatever people thought of that, which was where the rebellious name comes from, Mutiny. We want to introduce a whole entire thing of what we believe it is, and that's why you see on our logo with the Bones M, it's kind of like we're pirates to this, we're coming in and infiltrating what we think and want to introduce to what streetwear is in Cayman.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's rebellious. It's good stuff.
There's actually a double entendre, but he's trying to be kind. So that's the first definition. And the second definition is he is very patriotic and nationalistic. And so in every piece of Mutiny clothing, embedded is a piece of Cayman's heritage, our contemporary culture. So he's big on preservation. So it's a cultural declaration that here we are Caymanian. Here's our spin on what is relevant today in terms of how we want to show up in the world. No, we're not going to go with your definition of who we are, but here's who we are based on how we define it. So it is a double entendre. It's a very deep name. I really like it.
I love it.
I think it's very relevant right now in terms of the conversations that are topical. And as a young Caymanian, I think it's very courageous for him to come up with a brand like this, and that is something that's going to resonate in this exhibit called On Our Block, because it's
On Our Block.
Yeah, they want to welcome you to here's our home, here's how we represent in our home, but we want to offer you a piece of it, but respect our home when you come in. That's the idea.
I'm loving it.
I wish I could work things like that. It's amazing.
You use a mic, Josh. Huh? You got to share that with the rest of the world.
Oh no, I was just saying. Patrice literally takes the words out of my brain and speaks it out loud.
And he basically takes my ideas and makes it into creation. Him and Jawara, we all do the same thing. It's real collaboration. All of us have our strengths, and so
on our block, one is this. Of course, it's part of Cayman Art Week. And this is on June 1st and 2nd that you're having on our block.
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. And let's talk about where it's going to be, what time, what's on the agenda.
Yeah, 84 Archive.
Keep saying it.
Yeah, 84 Archive Lane.
84 Archive Lane.
I have no clue where that is.
Right beside National Archive. All right, when we do the Caymanian, you want to do the Caymanian directions? Ready?
There's two of them.
All right, let's
go.
go.
So the one where you say, you know where Cotton Club is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
You see the rental car place across from Cotton Club?
Right.
So act like you won't get to the back of that rental car place.
Right.
And it's right there across the road.
Or
second would be, do you remember Little Darlings?
Oh, yeah.
The road across from Little Darlings.
That's where
you got Print Away. Then you turn right like you go in National Archive. And in the back there.
All right.
You'll see a big Mutiny sign.
We got it. I got it. I
got it. Right, because if we on Radio Cayman,
right? They're Cotton Club, you know.
We on Radio Cayman. So June 1st and June 2nd, 2 days.
Okay.
In the daytime, we have two static exhibits. So Jawara will have an exhibit, and Josh will have an exhibit. And that's open and free to the public from 10 a.m. to about 9 p.m. We actually have student tours booked in the day, but you can come as a regular member of the public. So Josh's exhibit, he's going to tell the story of Mutiny and how he got there, his inspirations. He'll have older photos. Big up Mr. Rennie Barnes, Edlin Miles, Craig Marion. They've all contributed some older photos showing Caymanian street style throughout the years. So how did we get from there till now? And then Jawara, he's creating an immersive exhibit. So big up Mr. Hides for giving us his paint shop. We are stepping into the mind, the mystery, and the method of Jawara Alleyne. So he's going to do a replica of his London studio. We just wanted to do something that made sense because we had some really cool high concepts, but we wanted people to see what it takes to be a fashion designer on that level. So he's going to take some key components of his London studio. Then there'll be also a multimedia aspect. So we'll have digital imagery and visuals. So that's open on June 1st and June 2nd in the day for free. In the evening on Thursday, we're going to have a panel discussion, a little fireside chat with Jawara, Josh, and Miss Natalie Urquhart, who has been so amazing in supporting them throughout the years. So she's going to be doing a panel discussion. They're going to talk about their process, and they'll have a Q&A afterwards. So if you want to learn about fashion design, or if you're just interested, or you just come out, it's going to be very chill, not very frumpy, not formal. Just come as you are. Then Friday is the big shebang. So from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. we're doing the closing night party. Epicness personified. So we have a pop-up skate park, fashion showcases, exhibits. We'll have welcome drinks. We'll have a graffiti ceremony by John Reno. He has given us a print of one of his items, and everyone that comes to the event can paint on it. You can express yourself.
Nice.
So that we can live on further from the event, right? We will also have a cash bar. So, we like to, have a happy hour. So if you want to just chill there's a lounge area. Big up Mousy. She's going to be doing jerk chicken. Mousy is a national icon.
Yeah.
If I say so myself. We will have music, and Art in the City is happening in Georgetown, and they're going to have a bus that's going to hop up. So we're the last stop on the hop off bus. So you can either do that or you can just drive up. So that's happening on Friday, and we welcome everybody, and it's free. And he's going to be selling stuff as well.
Okay.
Mutiny and Joy.
But that static exhibition will be on as well.
In the days.
Continue
just
on the second, right? 10 to 9. 10 to 9. It's there.
Until it closes.
It closes, right. Okay. No, and this is all on the...
Thursday and Friday, June 1st, June 2nd.
Okay, archive land.
84 archive land.
Put it in your GPS.
Yeah. If you put it in, it actually takes you there.
It takes you there,
All right.
Because, some of them take you to the bush.
I've seen that before. I've seen that. My brother does that. No, Jawara.
Yes.
I've heard so much about you. I've heard about you, Josh, so much. I mean, we play your music already, Cayman, stuff like that. But Jawara, you're like best kept secret.
Honestly, I love what you just said. That's the truth.
Best kept secret?
That's why Josh and I, first of all, Josh bullied me to do this event. Everybody in Cayman should know this. And when I say bully, I mean he's a great leader, and he encouraged me and inspired me, because we were just here talking about all these things that are happening, and the people that came before us, the people who protected culture, did amazing things. We're like, we should do this, and we said, you know what, we need to be the change we wish to see.
Yeah.
We are young Caymanians. We need to do something.
Right.
We were there complaining. We complaining in his store about who not doing this. And then we're just like, Jawara is doing these big things, and young people in Cayman don't even know. We ready to blame the government. Can you imagine I work for the government, ready to blame the government. So we're just like, we need to do it.
Yeah,
we need to get up and do it, and
then
ask the government for help. And they did. Big up Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage, CNCF, GT Revitalization. We started it. We put the pebble in the water, and they just started to, support. So let Jawara tell his story, because he has so many accomplishments, Miss Anita, that on a big scale.
I've seen names like Beyonce mentioned alongside Jawara. Rihanna. I'm like, who's this guy?
It's me.
A Boston Towner.
You're from Savannah?
No, he's from Midland Acres.
A real BT.
real BT.
Okay. So Jawara, you were born here?
So I was actually born in Jamaica, but I grew up here.
Okay.
And I left when I was 19 to go to London to study. And I finished studying in 2020, so right before COVID. So this is kind of just my first real return to the island after having left the island to go and study, and then finished studying, COVID happened, and now I'm back. I guess, there's many stories to tell. What do you want to know?
Let's talk about Rihanna.
I was going to say,
Rihanna.
How did you get a Rihanna hookup? And Beyonce and all the good stuff.
So for Beyonce, when I was working in London, studying and working, I was managing a design studio, Peter Pilato, bigger Peter Pilato.
That's a big name, by the way. I know people, we kind of islanded. Peter Pilato is like on the same level as like your... Pradas and that type of thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
hi Peter.
Yeah.
Okay, you got him covered.
So I was working there, and my job essentially was to oversee and manage sort of the studio and the way that things are actually getting produced. And then I was also kind of attached to any special projects that came in. So when this special project came in, it was actually quite a difficult task figuring out this whole Swarovski on this suit. And essentially I was the man tasked to solve that problem. So that happened through them, and then I got to be a part of that, which was incredible because a lot of what I think people sometimes don't realize about design is that it takes so much training to actually get to the point where you become a designer who's actually capable of taking on all of the multiplicities of the different hats that actually a designer actually has to wear. So I worked with them for a couple of years.
I have to say this. I'm sorry, you skipped over. He's talking about Beyonce's suit when he says Swarovski.
Oh, yes.
He's so heady, he's so fancy, so he need break it down for the people in the back. So basically, he got a call. They needed to do a pantsuit for Beyonce's On the Run tour. I can tell you a joke. I called Jawara just randomly one day. What are you doing? I putting on Swarovski stones for Beyonce's pants. I was like, excuse me, what? Jawara, how many Swarovski stones?
Oh, millions.
Millions. So if you Google Beyonce Swarovski suit, it'll come up. Jawara did that by hand, one by one. Like, that's the type of level he's on, Miss Anita. He just skipped past it because it's an everyday thing for him. But I'm like, he literally did that by hand. And
she wore it.
And I went to the On the Run tour and saw it, and I was like, my friend did that suit. He did it from Cayman. You didn't sleep, right?
No.
How long it took you to put them
weeks, because there was so much like back and forth and fitting. Like making the suit itself was a difficult task, and then figuring you had to do like maybe 4 or 5 different samples of fully making it back and forth to kind of make sure that it fits. Because once you send it and do all that, it's like done. You know?
So how do you fit it? She's not there physically.
So we had to sort of get her measurements and essentially make a replica of her body, and then find the closest match.
To try it.
Yeah.
That must be hard though for them.
Quite difficult.
Yes.
Quite difficult.
I've seen that done in the movie. Georgina. What's it called?
Kerford.
I'm Georgina.
Oh, I don't know that.
Ronaldo's wife.
Right.
Oh. You know, where they put all that together. Yeah. But it was difficult.
I think that's the hardest thing about designing for clients is that usually you don't get to fit them. So you have to really be on it with like figuring out how do you actually make something that's going to fit somebody, but then you don't actually have their body to work with.
Training.
So if one of these days you actually have to work with Beyonce and put her stuff on, how would you feel?
I'd feel fine. I think for me the joy comes in the process, you know. Whatever comes outside of that is great, but I like living in that sort of middle ground of like trying to figure out how to actually make things happen. I feel like that's the part that I get really excited about.
So let's talk about Rihanna. What did you do for her?
So with the Rihanna suit, essentially I was again contacted by the stylist, the stylist is the creative director at the magazine Days, and they had this idea of putting Rihanna on the cover in a suit that kind of symbolized, I think, for rebellious Caribbean people, a lot of sort of that symbolized something, you know. There was a symbol of like this moment and this conversation that is sort of underlying within the Caribbean space. And for me as a Rastafarian, coming from a Rastafarian background, that really meant something that the stylist actually recognized that I was the best person for this job. So they reached out and they had this idea and they were like, oh, do you think it's possible? And I was like, of course it's possible. Like, I can do anything. So then from then on, it was just about designing and figuring out, again, how do I actually construct this thing that needs to stand up and it needs to look in a certain way. And also at the same time, it needs to exemplify a spliff, but then it also needed to be quite beautiful, and it's a couture gown essentially. So it needed to have the element of something, but then also still gives you that element that actually it is just a beautifully constructed dress, and that fit her really beautifully. Had a really great skirt line, slit in the back. You know, it was like the whole thing essentially was built around a concept, but it was a beautiful dress at the end.
Is that the one where it looks like a banana?
It looks like
it's white.
Yeah,
and
yes,
and
yes,
just
yes.
her face, and they had
not
a
a
piece on
banana.
top.
And that's it.
It's not a banana.
It's not a banana.
No, I know it's not a. No, I know it's not a banana. I didn't know before when I saw it at first, but no, I know what it is. And I'm going to go back and take another look. Another closer look. That's right. It's left to imagination as well. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our discussion with Jawara, Josh, Patrice, and a little bit of Kadeem.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
The 22nd Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Humility, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 25th at the Hartwell Theater. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando.
Yeah, she twerking off a band and I'm about to make a dance, yeah.
Dream Chasers, Radiance Dance Studio, UCCI Dancers, Centerpoint Dance Studio, Sparks School of Performing Arts, Dan Ebanks, and more. Hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. Part of the proceeds from the talent exposition go to support the training program of the arts. Tickets available from Number One Shoe Shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Prepaid $15 or $20 at the gate. The 2023 Talent Exposition of the Arts, Humility, Sunday, June 25th at the Hartwell Theater. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets today.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it. Business Boss. Business Boss with your host, Anita Khan.
We're looking at Cayman Art Week, part of Cayman Art Week, tomorrow and Friday, June 1st and 2nd. Our block taking place at, what's the name of the street?
84 Archive Lane.
You can't miss it. You cannot miss it. In the studio, we have Jawara Alleyne, Josh Pearl, Patrice Beersingh, and Kadeem Rogers. Kadeem, let me put a spotlight on you for a couple of minutes. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so
and how you're involved with meeting up with these guys.
I'm involved with this project. I recently met Josh, recently met Jawara. I've known Patrice for some years, and I met her at an event. Which was it? A destination event in Jamaica. I am Jamaican, a lifestyle reporter from the Jamaica Observer newspaper, and moved on shortly after. I went to Loop News, which is our digital media platform.
Loop News.
Loop News.
Oh, I read Loop News all the time.
Yeah, Loop
You're a
is in
contributor?
Cayman.
I'm gonna take another look at that.
So yeah, met Patrice there. We've had a friendship for years, and No, I'm here. It's
So you're
crazy how
supporting
these
these
things
guys.
happen.
He's being
Yeah.
very coy. He's a
Yeah.
great stylist.
Oh,
Talk
that
about your
part.
last, your where you coming from, like the job that you were just doing.
So there's not much I can say,
Oh.
but I just assisted fab stylist Marika Ella Ames. She's from London, but of Jamaican parentage, and she has styled
All of the peoples.
a lot of people.
She
Kanye
actually
West.
styled my last show as well.
She has
Yeah, we have a
styled
synergy between
Jawara.
all of us, actually.
I like
An
it.
organic synergy by
I feel like I'm a
chance.
part of it, no?
By chance.
Not by chance.
Not by chance, sorry. By God. God.
It's ordained.
Ordained.
That's right.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about Cayman Art Week?
I'm excited.
I think it's great.
I think it's great. I think it's incredible.
And
It's needed. It's
it
definitely
was needed.
for our island. You know, we needed
I
that
think
outlet.
it's the exact kind of way of sort of injecting a point of view that forces culture to move and to sort of have that traction and attention.
And coming from media, I feel like it's super important for awareness to inform. You know,
That's right.
It's great.
That's
that-
why we're here this morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great that people are tuning in.
So Jawara and Josh, how did you connect? I mean, I know Patrice is the big picture here, but how did you connect? Did you have a connection before?
I think we had one just without actually knowing each other. So we at the CNCF, they would always have these award shows, and we'll always be in it. So I always got my great admiration for him from just seeing
Humble.
his achievements and everything that they would present at these awards. So I think we all felt like we knew each other, but not really at that point yet. You know, like I'm pretty sure we respected each other's craft and everything before even meeting.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that's exactly what it was. Just a sort of admiration and respect for other artists who are just doing what they needed to be doing and kind of expressing themselves in the most honest way possible.
But it was all Patrice that really brought the things together for this moment. So
Okay, I was about to say
big up
something.
yourself.
Thank you, Joshua. His name's not Joshua, by the way. Whenever I'm mad at him, I say Joshua. I want to piggyback off of what Jawara is saying because there's a deeper message here. Yes, I catalyzed the connection, but I am not the reason for the collaboration. What I want to demonstrate here is how far we can go as Caymanians, as creators, if we were to collaborate. There's a lot of things happening that are disbanded right now, especially in this season. I won't say who or what, and we see what happens when we don't stick together. You know what I mean? And so what I want to demonstrate here is the excellence that we could generate if we would collaborate, work together, band resources. All of us have our strengths. And I won't say it's a Cayman thing. I think oftentimes human beings, because they get so caught up in their own view, they forget that there are other people out there that you can lean on and you can leverage their resources. Everyone can win. Everyone can win. Everyone has a lane. And so what I think works well with this team and the teams that I work with is we lean on individual strengths. Jawara has his strength, Kadeem has his strength, Josh has his strength. And what I love about Josh and Jawara, they're like real collaborators. There's never any kind of friction because Jawara can say something, Josh thinks, and they're very strong personalities. Very strong personalities, but the respect for each other's craft. I think that also comes from they worked really hard to get where they are, so they respect each other's hustle and they respect each other's journey. So if Josh says something, Jawara actually considers it. If Josh says something, Jawara says something in the other way around, and same thing with me. And so I hope this is inspiration for other artists or people even in the business community to build, to collaborate, to lean on each other's resources because we can all win. And when you do that, then you truly see pioneering things happen and new doors being opened and new barriers being broken down. And that's one of the things and the focuses for Brand Caribe Innovation Lab. One of the things that I do is connect people and create synergies so that we can create those awesome products.
Are you doing a good job, Patrice? I have to tell you.
Amazing.
Very
Thank
good job.
you.
Good job.
Thank you. But again, it's not me. I'm just the flag bearer, but it's already there. I'm just unveiling what it look here. Look what's here. You know, let's
Can
come
I
together.
also just second that as well? Because you asked me earlier, like, how did I get into the space of doing all these magazines and etc. And it's always one of the things that I always looked back at Cayman and kind of been a little bit puzzled about how much of a lack of collaboration exists on island. Because when I'm in London, the real reason why I ended up doing all these things is because throughout my journey in London, I've always just been collaborating in any capacity. Like even now, sometimes I go on shoots and I'm just assisting. Sometimes I go on shoots and I'm just there to just lend a helping hand, and it's because it's not about me. And then the photographer looks and he's like, "Who's that guy?" Like he's clearly has a presence and he's clearly above whatever the small task that he's doing, but he does it so well. And very attentive. So I think for me, sort of that is the real key of like why we're working together, because collaboration is really what just takes you there, because it's impossible in the creative industry to make it on your own. Stylists needs designers needs musicians needs photographers needs designers, stylists need, you know, it's we're all in this industry individually, but the industry happens when we're all working together.
No, just tell me again how you were featured in Harper Bazaar, London Fashion Week multiple times, Vogue. How did you get into those features? That must be hard for somebody to come on and say, let's take Harper Bazaar. You know, oh well, I'm going to feature
Because
Jawara
he's great.
today.
He's not going to say that. It's because he's great.
That's what I want to get from him. But he's not telling me.
No,
He's not
because
telling
I
me.
can tell you,
He's
and
not
Josh can
telling
tell you,
me.
because Josh aspires to, because he's great, and and I don't want him to dumb it down, and he's going to give you a technical answer and say collaboration, etc. But there's also the element of excellence. So Harper's Bazaar and Vogue, they're not just you could be a designer, but you may not be featured. It's years of hard. He eats, breathes, and sleeps what he does. That's really what it is. There's no. There, right? Kareem, he eats, breathes, like that's all.
You'll
he
get
does.
an idea that at the honor block
the discipline
event as well.
He's so disciplined.
And you know what? And just like that, we're out of time.
Just like that.
We've got to do the news headlines.
Speaking of
Can I thank the sponsors?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so I want to thank Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage, Cayman National Cultural Foundation, Car City, RBC Royal Bank, Highs and Sons, Georgetown Revitalization Initiative, Cayman Spirits, Zeal, Keep Creative Studios, Crown Events and Rentals, Antilles, and of course, Cayman Art Week. Natalie Arcart and her team, thank you for believing us, and thank you for adding on our blog.
And tell us where we can find, where we can follow you, Jawara.
You can follow me on Instagram, Jawara Alleyne, JAWARA
And Josh?
You can follow me personally at Southside Pearl on Instagram, and you can follow the Mutiny brand at mutiny.ky.
And if folks want to get in contact with you, Patrice?
Instagram too, Brand Caribe, BRANDCARIBE, Brand Caribe.
Okay. Well, good luck with On Our Block. And
thank you for so much for
I
having
think I might
us.
check it out myself.
Big up Radio Cayman every time.
It's free.
Absolutely free.
Yeah.
Kareem, thank you so much, Jawara, Josh, Patrice.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
You're
for having
very
us.
welcome. It's been fun. I wish we had more time, so you could have given us another 15 minutes more. But not today, right? Another day we'll have you
Not
back in the
today,
studio
Bobo.
when Jawara is back on island. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thanks to our
Thank you.
sponsor, Cayman Insurance Center, and of course our listeners, our viewers, and our producer of the Buzz, Ms. Susan. Until next time, that'll be 1st of June on Thursday. We'll see you then.
Proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman